You may have heard the term intifada before, perhaps in reference to past conflicts in the Middle East, particularly between Israel and Palestinian militants. The word literally means shaking off, but in practice, it refers to an uprising, often marked by protests, civil unrest, and violence against authority or perceived oppressors. What we're talking about today is something far broader, far more dangerous, and increasingly likely, a global intifada. A global intifada wouldn't just be another protest movement. It wouldn't be isolated to Gaza or Jerusalem. It would be a worldwide, decentralized uprising, rooted in ideology, fueled by rage, and sustained by digital connectivity. It would involve multiple factions with overlapping goals: Islamist extremists, far-left radicals, anarchists, and others who view Western civilization, particularly the Judeo-Christian tradition and the nation-state model, as enemies. If you want to be prepared for this scenario, and we're not saying it will happen, but that it can, you need to understand the threat, how it spreads, and how to defend yourself, your family, and your neighborhood. Let's break this down in practical terms. First, what might this look like on the ground? Expect it to unfold in waves. Phase 1 is ideological: mass protests, college campus unrest, slogans, flags, cultural boycotts, and online campaigns. Phase 2 is infrastructural: organized demonstrations turn violent, targeting police stations, power grids, highways, and communications hubs. Simultaneously, small cells of radicals might carry out knife attacks, firebombs, car rammings, or coordinated arsons. In Phase 3, if it escalates far enough, civil authority breaks down in major urban areas. Grocery stores are looted, emergency services are stretched thin, and political leadership may be paralyzed by indecision or fear of backlash. At this point, it's no longer about politics, it's about survival. Step 1: Information and awareness. You must know what's happening before it reaches your doorstep. Follow local news from multiple sources. Track civil unrest globally, especially in areas where protests are turning into riots. Learn the signs of escalating radicalization. What starts as a student rally about Palestine may end in Molotov cocktails and beatings. Watch for overlapping events. When you see protests against police, Israel, capitalism, and Western values all blending together into one narrative, that's a sign you're seeing convergence, different movements aligning under a shared revolutionary umbrella. If foreign flags start appearing regularly at protests in your area, that's a red flag. These are not just local grievances, this is ideology imported from outside. Step 2: Physical preparedness. If the global intifada hits your area, you may not be able to rely on emergency services. Police may be pulled away to protect government buildings. Ambulances may not be able to reach your block. The 911 system may be overwhelmed. You need to be ready to defend yourself. That doesn't mean forming a militia or playing soldier, it means being responsible. Learn self-defense. Take a firearms safety course. Know your state's laws on concealed carry, home defense, and use of force. Secure your home, reinforce doors, invest in motion lights, install security cameras. Create a go bag with basic supplies, medications, water, food, flashlights, maps, cash, phone chargers, copies of key documents. Step 3: Community coordination. You won't be able to stand alone in a true crisis. Talk to your neighbors. Quietly assess who's paying attention and who's asleep at the wheel. You don't need to form a group overnight, but start the conversations now. If violence breaks out, will your neighborhood lock itself down? Who has medical training? Who has generator power? Who can help with communication? Don't advertise anything online, keep it off social media. The goal is to build trust and preparedness without painting a target on your back. Step 4: Tactical non-engagement. If protests turn violent in your area, avoid the chaos. Do not show up to confront crowds unless you are trained, protected, and absolutely have to. Your goal is to outlast, not inflame. Record from a distance. Document wrongdoings, but do so safely. If you can't escape, barricade your home and make it look uninteresting. Rioters look for soft targets, especially those that seem vulnerable or politically opposed. Stay quiet. Stay calm. If you must flee, have multiple escape routes. Don't rely solely on major roads, they'll likely be blocked. Learn alternate paths, trails, alleyways. Step 5. Digital hygiene and narrative warfare. A global intifada will be fought online as much as in the streets. Disinformation will spread rapidly. Be extremely cautious with what you post. Anything inflammatory could get you flagged, banned, or even doxxed. At the same time, you should preserve truth. Archive critical footage of riots, attacks, and extremist propaganda. Back it up offline. If authorities or media suppress key information, your documentation could one day be vital. Use encrypted messaging apps to communicate with trusted friends. Learn how to use VPNs. If the internet is shut down in your area, have radios or signal flags as backups. Remember, the enemy is as much ideological as physical. Lies are their weapon. Truth must be yours. Step 6. Crisis scenarios. If your city or town is directly hit by large-scale violence, you must shift from prepared citizen to crisis navigator. If supply chains break down, ration immediately. If utilities go out, conserve fuel, use backup batteries, and stay indoors at night. Do not travel unless absolutely necessary. Looting, random violence, and politically motivated assaults are likely in this kind of chaos. If extremists are targeting religious groups, ethnic communities, or ideological opponents, protect your vulnerable neighbors. Stand watch at local places of worship if authorities fail to do so. Be especially vigilant during holidays, Friday prayers, or religious protests. Step 7. Moral and psychological resilience. This is perhaps the most overlooked element. The global intifada will be terrifying. It will feel like the world is falling apart, because in some ways, it will be. You will see people you thought were sane defending terrorists. You will see children holding signs calling for blood. You may be threatened for simply believing what your grandparents believed. You must stay grounded. Read history. Understand that civilizational chaos has happened before and been overcome. Surround yourself with people who value truth. Disconnect from social media regularly. Remember what you are defending: your family, your dignity, your future. Never lose sight of that. Finally, understand this: you are not helpless. You are not powerless. You are not just one person. You are one of many, millions of people worldwide who simply want to live in peace, raise their families, speak freely, and believe what they know to be true. The forces trying to tear that down are loud, organized, and in some cases, well-funded. But they are not invincible. Their greatest weapon is fear, and fear only works if you freeze. If you prepare, if you train, if you organize, if you stay calm, you take that weapon away. This isn't about paranoia. This is about prudence. Being ready doesn't make you extreme. It makes you responsible. So take this seriously. Talk to your friends and family. Get your house in order. Build your plan. The global intifada may never fully arrive, or it may already be on its way. The time to prepare is not after the fire starts. It's now.